Am I in shot?
Sit down.
Am I in shot?
Sit the fuck down.
Maybe I don't want to sit down. Maybe I want to be a different kind of star.
Okay. Hey there. This podcast is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. No, it's not. I really wish it was. Please. Welcome to the Banana Split Podcast, episode 73, with me, not me,
Raid Shadow Legends.
and also not me.
Definitely not me. I'm old him. Not
That-
funny him.
This is what I'm becoming.
This will be you in 20 years.
Excuse me, I need to go get a fucking rope.
I know.
Rope.
That's my latest thing
If
right
I was
now.
you, I would feel exactly the same. It's
That's my
okay.
latest thing right now is
I take no offense.
you've got to be very careful
Yep.
to what you message people on Xbox when they're being toxic. So you can't tell someone to go fuck off. Like you can't tell.
No, you
fuck
just
off.
get banned.
You get banned, and I've gotten people banned, and it brings me joy to get people banned. So my latest thing right now is when
Evil.
someone's toxic or just like giving me the shits, I tell them to go buy a rope.
Because that doesn't. There's no.
Oh,
trigger.
that'll get banned.
No,
Like in
you've
a
gotta
be a
certain
little bit-
video game.
Nah.
You got to be a
Can't
little
say
bit
that.
creative.
Yeah. They'll never listen. The person knows what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook's kind of gone that way. I mean, still in that one toxic group with all the right and left wing people, and you can't just say, "Oh, you're a c word" or "you're this or that," because you get a holiday. So you got to come up with really clever little digs and sarcasm.
I'd argue that being vague about it makes it worse.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
just as
everyone knows
cunty.
what you're doing.
It's exactly.
I don't
as
think we should have
the
to censor
same-
either, though. But
The end
everyone knows what
result
you're
is
doing.
the same,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're just not using obvious
It's
language.
like
so.
it's like when some people replace one of the words in it. It's like like you're a
Yeah.
bunt. It's
Oh.
like we know what you're saying.
No, I'm in a few of these meme groups where they're all really super right wing, like Keckland.
Oh, yeah, I'm a part
you know,
of
There's all these Pepe type memes, and it's like they constantly use, instead of the N word, it's like slightly changed, and you're just
like a
"Come on."
delicious, tasty Snicker bar.
It's so cringy.
Yeah,
It's very
I'm in
cringy.
part of one.
Oh, now they call them joggers or something.
Joggers.
Yeah, it's like
What?
It's a riff on that whole thing where the guy was jogging and then got shot by those two rednecks who are
What?
thankfully going to do hard time for a father and son.
What?
The apple didn't fall far from the tree.
One thing
So-
that I did find funny and ironic, to mildly digress for like 10 seconds. Apparently people have been calling people like Terry Crews coons, and apparently that is a black term for
You've never heard
N-word.
that. See, how do I know all these people that are such like...
Apparently it is a
Ignorant.
black term.
Okay, well,
like,
that's-
Yes, it's been
that's
a slur for a long time.
excellent segue, but
Yeah.
before we get to that,
Yes.
I liked this movie.
Yeah, I want to
You
watch
had
it.
a lot of dust in there. Also, I'm
Yeah.
wondering what the extended version is compared to the
I don't know.
theatrical.
Well,
Is
Chronicle. This is what our podcast
Yeah.
is now sponsored by. It's
Hang
not.
Is that the one where the kids get those powers?
Yes.
Let me look at the director.
Because I've seen that.
I know
That's
Max
good.
Landis is involved, and he got cancelled because he's a complete twat. He's not his dad, who's an actually really good director who did American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great movie, and just a fantastic dude. His son, however, is a piece of shit. And Josh Trank co-directed it with him, and he went on to create the award-winning masterpiece that was Fantastic Four.
Speaking of people who are pieces of shit, Lily Allen's brother, apparently, who was in Game of Thrones. He played.
I don't know this. Go on.
Yeah, he was an essential character. He's the one who got his dick cut off.
Oh, that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, huge cock.
Really?
No, it's not little.
Cock?
Not,
Or
no,
Cock or
cock as
cuck?
in he's a cuck. He's a cock and a cuckhead. But yeah,
What did they call him in Game of Thrones? You remember he had that name? for it?
he was Reek, but I
Reek.
can't. Theon Greyjoy.
Reek,
There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I got
Reek.
to it. Yeah.
But he seems so disarming and cool in that promo video they did for the red nose cancer thing.
Yeah, apparently
You
a
know,
huge piece of shit. So that's my huge piece of shit of the week. Also, one thing I can state before we get into that segue, there will be no Red Dead Redemption 2. None. I swear, if he brings it up, I'll cut it out.
I haven't played it in like a month. If it's going to be any references, it'll be Last of Us 2 or Spider-Man, which I've just started.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'll have a discussion with you on Spider-Man. Now, Coon.
yes.
Cheese.
yes, it's finally happened.
I'm not saying we predicted it, but
Yeah.
Kind of predicted it.
now
Yeah.
also, I've seen a lot of people being like against it, other people for it. I like to I'm actually going to state where I'm at in this. For the first time ever, I'm going to make a political stance and say, I don't give a fuck either way.
Right.
It was cheese that I didn't eat.
What a shock.
Yeah.
Nihilism. Never saw that coming. No, so, yeah, it's funny because I saw the news last night and I was like, yeah, whatever. It's good. It's bad. It doesn't really affect me. But if it makes someone's day a little less shit because they are if they grew up in a place where that does strike them as offensive and it ruins their day, then,
Now,
it doesn't hurt to just change the name. It's still cheese. Great. Yeah, but a friend of mine, we've been Facebook friends for about 5 or 6 years. Tyler, should I?
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll be, whatever. I'm not going to name some other people that popped up on my feed today as well. But basically, this guy, I don't give a shit calling him out because he's a bit of a dick to women, and I've had to, fix some situations earlier. Not as much of a dick as this other guy that I want to talk about.
oh, I know
Don't
you
do
want to
that.
talk.
Don't do it.
Yes,
We'll go
yes,
there.
you
Don't-
100% can go there.
Don't do it.
But anyway,
What's he gonna
I'm
do?
warning
Add
you.
me to a group chat?
Don't fucking
I know,
bring him up
it's-
in my presence.
we'll get there.
You
But
get-
anyway, Tyler posted the meme of basically saying, hey, it's just a name, it's not a racist term, and get over it. And if you have a problem, if you don't have a problem with them changing the name, that was a really convoluted way of putting it.
Good old double
If
negatives.
if you're happy with the name change, then unfriend me now. So I was like, challenge accepted. And then reshared that as yeah, fuck this guy, and got plenty of people chiming in of yeah, I deleted him ages ago because he never learns. He's always, 1 week it'll be like, oh, you SJW sheeple cucks. You constantly fucking...
Hey.
I want to have you with a little rapper hat or something. SGW cucks.
He's just constantly posting these shitty memes.
Okay. I'm not doing keyframe editing in this.
Whatever that is. And, people call him out on it, and a few days later he's like, sorry guys, I didn't realise, I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Like that kind of PewDiePie apology. And then, guess what? The next day, bam, the same kind of bullshit meme. So, yeah, I'd had enough.
Anyway, cucks is my word.
Yeah. It's like the new version of that is simp, I think.
No, I think cucks are a whole nother level.
Alright.
Yeah.
Cucks is worse?
Yeah, I think cucks is worse.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with either term because it implies that having respect for women is bad.
Well, no.
that's-
Well, you're actually trying to use the word as it's intended? Wait a
Do
minute.
you know what a cuck? Do you know what a cuckold is?
Yeah, well, obviously that was porn long before it became a term of the alt-right.
Yeah.
But and I'd seen a few, but it always went very bisexual very quickly.
Yeah, I
Which
still
always put me
use
off.
the word cuck as implied as cuckold. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I guess I had the wrong end of the stick there because simp's more of the one where it's like, oh, you just do what women say. Like they would say Prince Harry is now a simp or whatever.
Yeah.
Because of Megan. And it's always the same right-wing idiots. And I've only got one left on my feed now, and it's just
Hi.
kind of
That's
funny.
not me.
Hey Dave, how you doing? Don't kill my cat. He has my cat held hostage, so I can't be
Wait,
too mean.
Dave?
Dave Cheverton from my feed.
Oh, that Dave.
Yeah, the old angry English man who posts all the right-wing memes and just gets shat on by all my friends, so it's kind of fun to watch. But,
What are you?
He does have my old cat, so I
Eat
can't be...
shit and cum?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Another friend of ours went on a bit of a rant and was just posting complete nonsense memes about bodily fluids, and I was like, that's a choice, you can do that, I'm not going to intervene. And that went on for about 3 days.
I have a
So-
dream where we can talk about bodily fluids.
And they're both the kind of people that don't know when to stop, so they're both just never ending. So anyway, Tyler. So yeah, that's done. And he blocked me, so good for him. And then speaking of other drama, we're not going to go there yet. We're going to go to my good old group, because I do post this podcast in the group. It's always at the top. So hopefully we do have a few fans
good old
that are,
cheap
came
plug-in
across from
in
Cosplay
a group that he runs that's got
With a
like
very
6,000 members.
9,200 or so.
Not
Though a
to
few less
flex.
today. We lost a few today because 3 or 4 girls that, Australian, I think they're all in Sydney too. I'm not going to say names because that's petty. Because I'm not really having a go at them. They just have a different opinion, and that's fine. The only thing I disagree with or have some issue with is when you exit a group and make an announcement like it's some kind of airport departure land.
Yeah.
Like you throw in you lob in a grenade of like, oh, this is what ruins cosplay, and this is like makes us all look like perverts, and it should be in an R-rated group.
that
Yeah.
really? Wait, that caused it?
You'll probably pop it up here, but I'm trying to remember now because
Yeah,
No, I'm not gonna
I'll
scroll
pop it
all the
up
way
if
up.
I can find it.
I'm not going to scroll all the way up. But basically, it's some Wonder Woman type middle-aged woman who looks great. I guess it's like an amateur cosplayer. Good for her. And she's just standing there doing a cute pose, and then there's a guy behind her, also fully dressed, completely nose up the bum. Again, they're both fully dressed, but it's like a silly pose where he's like, you know, doing the whole like, here, look at me, this is where I want to be. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. It's stupid. It's not even as funny as the Violet meme that we were talking about. But to be fair, the character of Violet was 14, so that I'm every day now thinking, yeah, that's really fucked up. That shit. Why was I ever debating that? But this one, we've had a bunch of people leave, and all these comments, like I said, you know, it's making us look bad. One of them called me a boomer. And the thing is, it's like the last comment was...
B word!
Remember when we did that Samwise with the action thing? It's that dude's girlfriend. I don't know if they're still together. She commented like, yeah, I'm out. And this sort of thing, this group, not just the meme, but this group makes cosplay look bad. And just that sort of, what do you call it, where it gets extrapolated, or it gets like, one thing goes in that group, and then someone takes that one thing and like pulls it out as in that represents the entire group. To me, that's the same as the protesters in Portland, a couple of idiots setting a building on fire, say a courthouse, for example, and then everyone on the right is like, look at these loony left-wing nuts, like they're just completely setting everything on fire, and it's because they're all crazy. Whereas it's just like 3 or 4 people out of thousands.
Yeah.
So that I just don't like that kind of broad brushstroke.
Just assume
writing someone off, and it's like, and even Peter commented in the group that, if you're going to have content like that, make it an R-rated group. But to me, that group's been around for about 10 years. We've always had that kind of content. People have been leaving the group because of that for a long time, and I'm okay with that, because it's like, that's the kind of place it is. And why do we need disclaimers? You've got to be at least 13, I believe, to have a Facebook account. I think by that age, you've generally watched a lot of Rick and Morty, and I don't know, as long as you're not having like gash on the screen and people talking about really extreme stuff.
Man, that's a real boomer way to explain it. Gash.
It's a pretty awful phrase. What's the other one? Clunge.
I've always liked box.
As long as it's not like 100% gross out humour the entire time. I don't know. I think you can have a bit of like stupid humour in there. I don't think it was very funny or clever, but it was just whatever. We were laughing at the meme. We were just like, this is, like I made some throwaway comment like, wasn't my proudest fap or whatever. And whereas, last year or 2 years ago when I had those other admins, I would have been a bit more like hands off. But now I'm like, fuck it. It's Facebook. Who cares? And I've still managed to care enough to rant about it for 20 minutes. But, my point is that it's just a bit sad that so many people find it such a drama that they need to run away just because of one stupid meme that we're all just having a bit of a giggle about and then moving on. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm firmed up in my belief that fuck it, not everyone's going to like everything that happens there. Yeah. And a lot of people are still going to blame the admins for stuff that they didn't produce just because they haven't gotten rid of it fast enough. And that's just the way it is. That's fine. I can live with that. As long as we're not posting, illegal stuff or promoting harassment that's racist and all that sort of stuff, then
that immediately makes you better than them, because they can't live with that, and that's where they're bitching and moaning about it.
Yeah, no, I just think it's kind of sad that so many people don't seem to have a sense of humour. That's all. I guess that's where I'll leave it, and we can move on to stuff that we were, and because I posted it in this group, and that's what I'm saying. There is other groups, or there are other groups that are safer. Like Cosplay Australia, all inclusive, that wouldn't allow that sort of thing, and that's fine. I'm happy that that's there, and it's a safe place, and I'm not being facetious. That's good that that's a place for those people to enjoy themselves, and we can have our corner that's a bit darker and a bit edgier, and go nuts.
I do that with my Discord, and how my fans, some of my fans are like really young, like 12, 13, and then I've got some people. Yesterday I met one dude who's a dad who's got like 3 kids, and then apparently statistically most of them are mums, which I did not know, but a good chunk. But that's an example. That's why we have like a not safe for work sort of chat place.
Oh, you divide it up.
Yeah. So then if you want to post things or talk about stuff that's not safe, yada yada, that's your place. Go fucking crazy. But even when we're like voice chatting and that, we let people know like ahead of time, like You might hear some things, but that's if you don't like it, yeah, leave. And but like that's totally fine. Like yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking
As
maybe
long as you know.
the one like concession I can make to satisfy people is to put something in the group description to be like, some of the content will be suggestive, will be possibly that's what I'm going to do. Okay.
It's almost like we could put like kind of a warning label on things like a DVD or a TV show or a video game or something.
Cosplay Cantina page posts a lot of stuff in there. There's some other one that I can't pronounce, Accelerator or something. It posts a lot of lewd cosplay photos and.
I mean, Cosplay After Dark got nuked.
Yeah, that got nuked.
What? Really?
So I did enjoy that group. Yeah, no, that's been gone for a while.
I only noticed it because I was reading the Discord.
Yeah, there was another group that was funny and had a lot of that sort of content. It was called Your Desires Are Bad and You Should Feel Bad. And that was one of my favourite groups. But...
Cosplay After Dark got nuked. Actually, I'm just going to quickly... Should I make a status that says we should call... Can I vote that we call it raccoon cheese now? And have the raccoon, what I brought up last time on the podcast?
Oh, because of coon cheese. Yeah. No, we should totally have a campaign
for a raccoon cheese.
And hopefully we come up with a better name than the Washington Redskins did when they changed
yes, the Washington football team. Mm-hmm. But yes,
not very imaginative.
Cosplay After Dark, that got nuked around the time that one of the admins got ousted.
Accused of being a bit predatory.
Yes.
I think it was in Boxing Girls.
Anthony, I remember your name. Not that you're going to see this, let's be honest.
I don't remember the other guy's name, but he might. The local predator who I posted about, and that got reposted in the Cosplay All Inclusive group. So some of our content is worthy of being shared.
Man, I'm wondering how much work it's going to be for me to put the Kill Bill siren above him.
Don't fucking talk about him.
So you've actually met the guy.
Multiple occasions.
Because I'm sure I've seen him around.
He used to be in my friend's circle.
Yeah, so this dude, he kind of looks like a really
So then you're an excellent person to talk about this.
I am, but don't fucking talk about him!
Well, you can put the photo up when you do the thing, so that helps. Because he's quite, actually, you see him and he seems harmless. He looks kind of, he's got a fey handsomeness, like it's a very clean cut, like,
look at him.
You know,
that's
choir boy look, and he's got that silly goatee and he looks like a bit, we'll see.
Like,
but...
Admittingly,
I can see how he charmed his way into the inboxes of so many girls, but it is. Yeah. It's not impressive. Is the wrong word because it's awful what he's done. He's basically just spam messaged every single female cosplayer.
It's a numbers game
in the country and probably overseas too. Yeah. From what's going on, I've seen in the threads. Every single girl in the group is like, oh yeah, that guy. He tried to get me to go in a threesome or join some adult chat. Like. There's not one girl that's like, oh no, he never got in touch with me. He's a nice guy. Like it just didn't happen.
I had to research a lot of the shit that he did. I could talk to you about him for like an hour. I know a lot. I mean,
Jaden said we could do a couple hours tonight. He's got nothing going on. So
so from official at this point on, me as the co-host of the Banana Split podcast now enforcing a rule that the limit of these episodes will now be 1 hour and 30 minutes at max.
But we're as good as Joe Rogan. We can talk for 4 hours.
Oh, I definitely can, but I'd rather not edit that.
There's plenty of truck drivers out there that cosplay and want to hear about movies that will do, half their trip to Melbourne with us in their ear.
I'm so sorry if you listen to me for that.
Downvote, fake and gay.
Anyway, Michael, back to him.
Yeah, what's his name? It's Katzenditis or something weird like that.
Michael, I'm a fucking predator. I don't remember his last name.
Yeah,
you can probably find it on the Facebook.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to scroll up.
I think I took
at the right place.
Screenshot.
I know it's in my messages because one of the girls that he harassed actually got in touch with me and said, "Look, can you post about this guy because there's been some new information and I know that you've got a big following, and we'll get the word out." And I was like, "Who do you think I am?" Because some people seem to have a really weird idea of how much.
Can you tell me when he got out of jail, Matt?
I honestly had no idea he was.
The impression
in jail,
I have, and I could be wrong, it seemed like it was only a few months ago. Yeah. Because he got 2 years, one on the bottom, which means that there's only a year that is actually inside a cell for sexual assault. We won't go into the details. It is all in the post, which is in Cosplay in Action and also that all-inclusive group. So if you want to stay away from risque content, well, don't click on this post because it's full of like really graphic, lurid descriptions of what he did to this girl.
It's long too. It's long.
Yeah. If you're really slow at reading, then I guess it's long.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of repetition. He does the same thing a lot to this girl, and it's awful. But the point is that yeah, he's out, and his name is Mud, and I think there's not much more we have to do.
I think he's going to end up moving.
So,
I don't think he has a choice.
I have a story about him I can tell you if you want, but you should probably finish what you want to say about him.
no, that's it. I mean, it was just that sometimes we can do, even though I think my following and any influence I have is way overstated, it was good to be able to like go, hey, anyone that's up and coming, because clearly he's back and he's still inboxing people, like he's already doing the same thing he was.
Yeah.
It was good to be able to put the word out.
As much as I'd like to call him a cuck, I can't, but I can call him a cock.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I mean, he literally thinks with nothing else. There's clearly some mental health issue there because, like, to do it that often and that like widely, you've got some. Anyway, so
Hey,
what's your?
at least it wasn't kids.
There's always that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Some of them were underage.
Yeah, it's
some
funny.
of them were like 13, 14. So it's not
Okay,
like
never mind. At least he didn't get well that we know of.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have Epsteined himself.
Or
Did I just ask someone to? No, I didn't. No, I asked for an assassination.
Yeah.
I asked for an assassination disguised as a
You
suicide.
didn't bring up the word rope at all.
No,
betting.
He shouldn't buy a rope.
There is an Overwatch story about that, but I can mention that later if you want. Okay, do you want like the couple-minute version, or do you just want like the
No,
10
just give us
second
the
one?
highlights. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind the couple-minute version.
Back when I started, basically when I just started cosplay, so before I even met you two.
I feel like I met you fairly early on though. Winter Soldier.
You were probably because we met at PopCon.
Yeah.
I think I might have met you.
I don't remember.
around that.
We met at EB Expo.
EB Expo. Okay, yes.
I don't remember anything before the giant hammer thing that you had.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't too long after, but yeah, it was probably a year or so. Basically, did my first cosplay. It was my first official cosplay as like Winter Soldier. It was when I was really trying. I was silver and all that
I've
jazz.
seen that. Yeah.
The I think what was that movie where he was in? The Winter
Civil
Soldier. Was it? No, not.
He's been in a bunch. You're talking about
The one where he's evil. So who the
Winter Soldier. Captain America.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there you go. I think it was around that time. Long story short, I was really shy back then. He bumps into me. I don't know who this person is.
Right.
I'm very nice and very shy and all that. I'm just trying to make friends. And does exactly what you said. He's in all honesty, he comes off as a very nice, handsome, charismatic man.
Yeah.
Like, very friendly person.
That's what makes it so dangerous.
Exactly.
Is this what I would do if I was evil?
Because there's plenty of creeps out there that people have warned about, like the SWAT dude, the sneaker SWAT guy, and usually they're fairly obvious. Like, they're they've got so many mental health issues that they can't really get away with it for very long. Where anyone with a functioning brain can be like, oh, I just...
One thing that I will... And before I even said, I'm not a psychiatrist, yada yada, the closest thing I've ever done is youth work. That's not a fucking qualification. But anyway, one thing that you can try and pick up with these sorts of people, like either predators or manipulators, so like to just take advantage of people, is that a lot of the time they're very egotistical. So they think very highly of themselves. So, for example, when I spoke with him, that one time, he was wearing this fucking like those like low budget muscle suits. He was wearing like this muscle suit of Batman, and like I'll be honest, he's a reasonably fit guy. He could have wore like one of those like skin tight Batman outfits and would have looked pretty reasonable.
No,
but to
he's
me
tiny.
But to me, like, that's his egotism coming in play. He's like, I want to make myself look even better, like, than what I do look. But regardless of that, sorry, he was chatting to me. He's like, hey, man, it's nice to meet you. I'm yada yada. I'm like, okay. I'm letting him lead the conversation because I'm shy. He's like, look, so if you ever want to, like, hang out and stuff, because you got a cool costume, I've got, like, a cosplay group that I'm doing, you could be a part of that. We can do cosplays together and stuff.
Sounds good.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, just trying to strike up but as soon as basically he got the answer that he wanted out of me, I tried to just like chat him up or something. He's like, oh, cool. So like, what do you do? And so, I'll see you later, mate. And he just like immediately goes. So it's in the sense that like, he doesn't really care what you have to say. He just wants what the fuck he wants. Fast forwarding. He started to befriend a lot of friends in my group. At this time, I met one of my voice actor friends, who I'm still friends with today. She's a professional, but I'm going to keep her name out
Oh,
of it.
I've met her, have I not?
You
Spider-Man
have,
suit?
you have met her.
Yeah.
I'm just not saying her name to keep... I don't know if she wants to be involved. I'm sure if she knew about this, she'd be, oh yeah, fuck him. But she started hanging out with me, and Michael was in this group, and they formed like this
I'm
Discord.
shocked I've never met
Facebook
Michael
group.
then.
I know, he's a fucking... Well, we kicked him out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I made sure of that. But, anyway, we were probably in this group for like a couple months at least, maybe half a year or something. The first time I officially hang out with him in person, and with a good chunk of this group, was at Luna Park. Okay? So we're in Luna Park in the city. I'm hanging out with this, I'm going to call her Spider-Woman, and the others. Me and Michael, I don't know how old he is right now.
Yeah, 20-something.
Yeah, me and Michael at this point were the oldest people in said group. A lot of people in this group were probably late teens to mid-teens, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay? So me, I'm basically like thinking, okay, I'm basically the dad here. All right, whatever. Like youth worker hat on.
Right.
He is sort of not really like that, and I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I know I'm like a boomer when it comes to like taking care of people. So when someone's younger, I'm like, okay, I need to do that. I'm trying to talk to him. I'm trying to hang out with the others, have a good time. I can already tell that he's got weird ideas. Yeah, he's got his girlfriend there, and all that. And whenever he finds me in a private situation, like the others are going to get like ice cream or something, some shit, he starts talking to me. It's like, hey Matt, like I've noticed like you're really talking to your voice actor friend there a lot. Like you seem to really like her. It's like, oh, well, she's really nice and she's helping me with voice acting, And I was like, oh, I'm kind of paraphrasing because this is a while ago, but he's basically trying to like get me to do something with her and to like coddle me into putting him into it as well. And he's like, well, take me and my girlfriend. My girlfriend's like really young. I can't remember how young she was, but like barely legal. Oh. And it's and Spider-Woman at the time was kind of on the edge of legal as well. And so it's like, the fact that he's trying to push things is not okay. So he's trying to push ideas there. Not good. We end up having a bit of an awkward time with him. Half of us aren't really talking to him anymore because he's already trying to, he's very talkative with the girls, not so talkative with the guys, except for me, because I think he's trying to take advantage of me because I'm one of the older people there. And I think he knows that the others kind of listen to me a little bit. We go back, start heading back to the trains. We notice he breaks away from us for a little bit. So we're like, okay. I don't remember if I drove or whatever. I leave earlier. The others are still there. One of my other mates, who I call my son, because he looks like me when I was younger, or Wolverine, is, he told me the rest of this, and I believe him. And it matches everything that you guys have said.
I'm glad we got the highlight reel.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
this is where it gets fucking weird. I'm sorry. He told me that Michael and his girlfriend at the time broke away from him for a while. And he said, yeah, we found out that they were, like, fucking at the train station. It's like, yeah. And then they found out apparently that's his kink.
Oh, he gets off in public.
Yeah. He likes to do very exciting, edgy, like, risky shit.
Yeah.
And he was coddling this woman into doing that as well. And
you mean like grooming or whatever, like manipulating her. Yeah. Coddling's probably.
And it was
cuddling.
And it was clear that she was, to me at least, that she was coddled in that because about a week or a couple weeks later they broke up.
Yeah. And
she initiated it. Apparently they were walking up some stairs or something, walking. She dropped something. My son is very polite. He's a good boy. So without even thinking, he runs over to pick it up and hands it to her. She very awkwardly kind of looks at it and takes it and puts it in her purse. Joel soon realizes that it was a vibrator that they were using. And so he's like, and the rest of the groups realizes what they were doing. And they're like, yeah, I'll see you later. Fast forward again. We're almost done. This is where a lot of the evidence starts coming up, what you guys just said.
No wonder she dropped it, because it would have been really slippery.
He pushed her into doing a Pornhub video, which I saw. because I was linked to.
Whatever you do not send me that link.
No,
I
I don't have it. But they were all telling, like, they sent it to me, and I was like, this guy's basically dishing out porn because that girl's barely legal, and I'm like, yeah, that's fucking right.
Just reminds me of that. Is it Sunny in Philadelphia? There's some other guys like, that's awful. Where would someone not go to see?
No, that's always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah.
And that was happening. He was sexually harassing all the women in the group.
Yeah.
He was messaging them, like, with basically all the shit that you posted. He was doing that with all these different women. And then the other guys were talking to me, basically like, look, Matt, we want to get rid of this guy, but we want to kind of give him a fair shake, because playing devil's advocate here, some of those women that did come forward to you might have been lying. If they don't have... you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. If you don't have complete proof, some of that could be bullshit.
The thing is, you've got the evidence from the court transcripts. You've got
Sure.
You've got dozens of girls coming out and saying you did this. At that point, I'm like, no, there's no more benefit of the doubt. It's done.
Yeah, okay, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, in another situation, or at least in that particular situation with me, it's better to err on the side of caution.
No, exactly. Like,
you got to give him a fair shake, at least in my opinion.
Like, so, I've had some sketchy people where I'm like, you could just randomly accuse me of random bullshit, and and in today's society, I'd be fucked.
So I took it out of my fucking way.
Oh, you're talking about back then. You gave it another shot. Yeah, but I still think...
No. Like, I basically, they wanted to do, like, a quote-unquote budget court case sort of thing. And they wanted me to kind of run it, because they were like,
what?
You seem to be...
You would Judge Judy?
Kinda, yeah. Because they were sort of like, we want you to kind of help... What do you do, like, mediator or something? You know, mediate this, because we feel like, because you're pretty much the oldest one here, that you'll sort of have more of a level head. So I spent, like, the past month, researching this shit.
You're in trouble
interviewing people. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm a good boy. Yeah. You don't see me off camera, that's the problem. But anyway, I spent, like, the past month researching this shit, interviewing women, found out that Spider-Woman was being sexually harassed a lot by this person. She came out to me about it. I'm sorry, I am going to be biased there. I trust her. And
that's not bias. That's common sense. Like, that's being...
I was shown messages.
Yeah,
and
I've seen screen caps as well, and it's fucked up.
You can edit those things, but assuming that they weren't. There were some women that did defend him, basically saying that, look, I know he's a very flirty guy, but he'd never done anything wrong to me. He just proposes it and then leaves. But 9 times out of 10, they were fucking. He was going way too far.
He's pretty persistent.
He was trying to get a bunch of the women drunk.
Yeah.
The ones who were very hesitant about it and should share a hotel with him, which I was shown proof of. And then we basically did a big Discord call with him. Everyone was coming forward with their evidence.
Wow.
He was trying to back up as much as he could. He backed up like one fucking statement, but then didn't back up anything else, which to me basically seals the deal that you're guilty. Because if people come forward with like 10 things about you...
What do you mean by back up, though?
Like, say for example, if I said, let's just pretend I had undoubtable proof that you didn't have a penis or something.
Sure.
Just something like that.
And you'd be like, look, here it is.
Like, I have this proof, and this proof.
Yeah,
and by the way, you have a sheep that lives in your toilet.
Yeah.
And if, for example, the only thing that you've like, haha, fuck you, you're wrong. I do not have a sheep in my toilet. And if you do not say anything else, you've basically confirmed everything else, because you're like, well, you're just trying to dodge that, and you're not fighting anything else. You've just fell into the obvious trap of, well, all right, well, you've just confirmed. But anyway, everyone at this point is very convinced that this guy's just toxic. Spider-Woman's come out, everyone else, he hasn't denied it. He's just, I'm just here for a bit of fun, and if people are uncomfortable with it, then they can stop. And I fucking start yelling at him. It's very fucking clear that they're not okay with it, because I keep telling you that they're not okay with it. It's in the fucking messages. And then he's trying to make people feel bad about him, and it's just my emotions and feelings, and I want to live. And I'm like, well, do it fucking somewhere else then, if they don't want to do it. Long story short, we kicked him out. He tried to get back in the future. We weren't having it. And things were a lot more peaceful.
Sometimes you got to just cut your losses.
He was in fucking advertisements. I saw him on Smash in the advertisements years ago. in some of the pictures on their website, I was pissed about it. Obviously, they don't know. That's
No,
fine. I'm not going to write a goddamn post.
Yeah, they're not endorsing his behaviour. But I have heard, and people were asking that, do the conventions know? I don't know if he's getting back into cosplay. I think what I've heard, he's just trying to get back into girls' inboxes. No pun intended. But
He's not trying to get back into cosplay. He's just trying to get back into girls.
yeah,
I will-
So they have been told, though, they have been alerted to who he is. So.
I will say that in my opinion, it's the last thing I'll say about it is, if you want to live that lifestyle of just, being free, as in, like, you just want to have, you want to have sex, and you just want to have fun with women, consenting women, or consenting men. If you want to do whatever you want. If you want to be sexy, do that. But with consenting people, all that, there's nothing wrong. It's a natural thing. But make sure that everyone's on the same fucking level. They know, as you said, have a warning label. Like at the last
I was
conversation.
just thinking about that, though. If I say, there may be lewd content, does that mean I have to vet every single member of that group and make sure they're 18?
I wouldn't say so. Just
because I know Cosplay After Dark had that policy. Like, you couldn't be... As soon as someone was like, I'm only 17, they were deleted. Which made sense with that group, because people were posting some full-on shit. I don't think it goes that far with cosplay in action.
Man, I really miss Cosplay After Dark.
Yeah, it was good.
I'd say if you want to be safe, you could.
There's a new one that's similar, and it's called, like, Please Come and Sit on My Face, or something. It's charming.
I'm assuming you remember?
Someone might have added me, I don't know.
I might.
Something I've heard.
Totally shouldn't send me the link to that later.
Yeah, it's pretty
Where
fun.
would I not go? Where would be the place where would I go so I can never accidentally visit that place?
I'll make sure you're aware so you can avoid it.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just silly, and it's all, again, even with CAD, they're mostly American, so...
Yeah.
And I tend to just... I don't want to get caught up in it, because then you're like, I might like this girl, and then but she's too far away. So, yeah, just don't get caught up.
I mean, the Discord still runs.
I'm more of a, what do they call it? Demisexual? Because that's what Peter said he was, where you have to be emotionally
invested.
Yeah. And if you're just saying
is that pansexual?
TNA all day,
no, pansexual is
like you don't care.
Yeah,
you just
pretty much.
You love them. If you care about them emotionally, then
there's something that's slightly unhealthy about sending love reacts and flirtatious remarks to girls on the other side of the world like all day. Like, it's never gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, I bought Pat this 2 years ago for Christmas. It's still sealed.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe he wants to.
Because I wanted.
Oh wait, no, it's a cookbook.
Because I wanted him to. Because he liked Fallout, and I thought, well,
but you might want to keep it as a collector's
the day
piece.
I can afford a proper kitchen with all the recruitments and stuff in a pantry, then I'll crack it open.
Some of my things I could just keep factory sealed.
I'll give it to my chef.
Collector's purposes.
But anyway, on to the news. Now we can start the podcast.
Into the news.
Yeah, only 37 minutes into it.
That's how we roll. This is going to be completely like ad hoc, and there's going to be no theme or like rhyme or reason, but and it's going to be the same kind of stuff we usually talk about, like gender politics and pop culture. But for example, the first one is about Halle Berry, who finally pulled out of a transgender film role after a lot of backlash online, of course. So, and to be honest, back in the day, I would have been like, they need a big name, they want to make some money, because Scarlett
Johansson, or whatever.
Got caught up in a similar kind of issue where she was going to play a transgender character and changed her mind after the same controversy. So I don't know why actresses still keep thinking they're going to fly under the radar. When you're Halle Berry, that shit doesn't work because you're huge.
Stupid question. I'm assuming the controversy is that it's a non-transgender person playing a transgender character.
She's a cisgender woman, so just biologically and...
Yeah, we had a very similar discussion. We had the episode with the voice actors. And
yeah, well, that's different because they're...
I think that's my argument even for this. If you've got a good actor,
I understand where they're coming from, and it's coming from a good place to not want to play a different race, even on like with the voice acting thing. But I don't think it would apply with transgender roles. I think you can be more flexible.
Yeah, Jared Leto did it.
There's been a bunch of movies where actors have acted retarded.
Yeah.
And they've come out with good films.
It's developmentally delayed. Sorry, you can't use the R word on this podcast. It's not
So what?
welcome.
So we went from retarded to mentally challenged to mentally delayed?
It's developmentally delayed is one of the terms. I think that's okay. Or
Who doesn't
intellectually-
love
I'm going to use what my doctor says and say mentally retarded because that's.
Hey, who doesn't love a little bit of?
I'd question that doctor's credentials.
That's what it is.
No, it's not anymore. Look at find me it in the DSM.
The
It's not
DSM.
it's the psychology source. It's like the Grey's Anatomy.
Sucking montage.
It's the book that they all use to go, okay, you've got ADD or you've got Asperger's, which is no longer in it. They've changed. Asperger's doesn't exist. You're on a spectrum. Every year it gets updated and they change the terms. And that's no longer a term that is acceptable by a psychologist or anyone else in the mental health industry.
But then what would you call someone if they did have Asperger's?
They don't. That's the thing. It's an
Are they
aspect.
autistic?
So wait. Is everyone who
you're
had
autistic.
Asperger's
You're just
cured
autistic.
now?
You're just
Oh,
on the
okay.
spectrum.
So if you just so if you were to what you said, sorry,
Yeah.
So
sorry.
it's
they're autistic.
So it's develop.
Spasm.
Developmentally delayed.
Who doesn't love a good pair of double D's?
Nice. Sorry, I can't help
That was
mate.
that's what I was waiting for.
So, this is what she said. I had the opportunity to discuss my consideration of an upcoming role as a transgender man, and I'd like to apologise for those remarks. Because same as ScarJo, she came out going, fuck you guys, I'll do what I want, and then shitload of backlash. And I now understand that I should not have considered this role, and the community should undeniably have the opportunity to tell their own stories. I'm grateful for the guidance and critical conversation over the past few days, and I'll continue to listen, educate, and then learn from the mistake. I vow to be an ally in using my voice to promote better representation on screen, both in front of and behind the screen. So yeah, lots of she's hit every single key word there that she needs to.
There's a word for this. It's called
Damage control.
Yeah, I mean it's like a template that I've seen many times over. But to be fair, that's what you have to do.
You kind of have to say that
Yeah,
though at that
There's
point.
no choice.
Yeah.
So
When
good for her.
Yeah, but I'm pretty certain she could also never do another movie in her life, and she's still set.
Oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
She just wants to be able to practice her art, and I think there'll be more roles for her out there. Once she did John Wick 3, because I don't know what she'd done before that in a while.
X-Men.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but she'll do well.
John Wick 3, she was the woman with the two big dogs, yeah?
I don't know why I shared this. It was something about Wolf Creek 3 coming up. So it's just John Jarrett saying, yeah, we're going to do it. We just have to wait till this stupid corona thing's over. But one of the only countries in the world now producing television and film is New Zealand. So maybe everyone can go there. That'll be the new Hollywood. That'll be really cool.
Everything
You can
suddenly
catch up
looks
to
like
America.
Lord of the Rings.
Batwoman has found its new actress. It's Javishia. Someone else pronounce this.
Javishia.
Javishia Leslie.
Nah, it's not Leslie. It's
Leslie?
Leslie.
It's Leslie.
Leslie.
Beautiful person of colour, black woman.
Can you say that?
First one, what?
Can you say Javishia Leslie?
No, because that's not the word. It's Javishia Leslie.
Leslie.
I'll just make it
Leslie.
overcomplicate. And I don't know how much work she's done before, but there's already been a couple of promos featuring her, and she looks really good. So let's see how it goes. I haven't watched the first season with Ruby Rose, so it can't be much worse. Apparently, it's not very good.
I know you told me and you told them real quick. Why'd she quit again? They treated her badly, or like?
Yeah, there was
I
some
can't remember. She got fucked up.
Issues on set. I know she'd had a few falls, a few stunts that went bad, and there was just some tension there with some of the other crew and cast, and apparently
She's like, that's it. Going back to Orange is the New Black.
not great to work with.
Which I think is
Possibly. Like that's been said about Josh Whedon recently by one of his actors. The guy that played the Cyborg. And he came out, like people are saying John Boyega was brave for saying Black Lives Matter, which is debatable. But, I mean, it's great that he stood up and said what he wants. And he's actually also come out recently and said he's done with that role, with playing Finn. So that's sad. Because
Is it?
J.J. Abrams came out and said, oh, no, you can have all the work you want. Clearly not that work anymore, because he's said, I'm done. Well, I mean, I know Harrison Ford back in the day said he's done with Han Solo. Like, he wanted to get as far away as he could from that.
Yes, you know how they brought it back in? We'll kill you.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that's the last we ever see. I'm guaranteed 20 years from now, there's going to be some other nostalgia push, and he'll be back there he'll be like doing the Lando type, you know, what's that guy's name that turned up again? as Lando. Anyway, he'll
Lando
do that.
Calrissian.
Yeah, but the actor's name, I'm
Oh.
terrible with names. That guy. You're going to do the thing. You better. Now we've got you on the hook for that. You can't go back. Also, Ready Player One has come out with a sequel with the imaginative name of Ready Player 2. It kind of works in both ways.
I like Ready Player One.
Yeah, it's a fun book. It got a lot of flack for being like a teenage escapist fantasy, and yeah, that's what it is. You know, he's not like super. Like apparently the female character didn't have enough agency or something, but I don't know. I had a good time. A lot of nostalgia. It was like the member berries. See how you can tell. You can tell where I am at in South Park because I'll keep referencing those episodes the next podcast. Mm-hmm. But I'm just it's like season 20 or something where there's these weird berries that take over the world.
I remember, yeah.
It's all Star Wars related, pretty much, with the occasional other random 80s thing. But that's what this does. It just completely like commodifies everything that you loved as a child, and force feeds it down your throat. And given that it was like one of the highest grossing Steven Spielberg films ever, yeah, they're going to make another movie.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll put some Jurassic Park stuff in it. And Jaws, maybe. You know, a few more of his movies. Scrabble has banned the N-word. So that's not going to be allowed in any more of the tournaments. Obviously at home you can use your own rules, but...
They have tournaments?
Yeah, it's a huge thing.
Tournaments?
Well, then they do have rock, paper, scissors as a tournament.
Yeah.
So.
Though I can't believe anyone ever would have pulled that out in like the grand final in London, surrounded by thousands of people. Like, this is like, 20 points right here, the N-word.
There's like I-G-G-E-R. There's only one letter that could go and you have no other choice.
Yeah, no. But the best part is it's a white guy versus like an African, and you're just like, he's just like, uh-oh.
Oh, he's got a letter up. He's like, don't fucking do it. Bigger. He's like, oh, good boy. All right, you win.
That would be awkward. So it seems like it's like the cheese thing. It's a bit of a virtue signaling thing, but it's good. As long as they're doing that plus actual change. That's the problem. There's been a lot of corporate initiatives to get on board, and they're generally just like, I don't like the term virtue signal, but yeah, when someone does something that's really just a token gesture and has nothing behind it, like say if they've got factories in South America producing chocolate that use slave labor, and then they go, oh look, we've got a black Instagram page for 2 days, yeah, that's virtue signaling because you're not actually...
I can taste the suffering.
There is like chocolate you can buy. It costs a bit more, but it doesn't use slave labor, so try and find that when you go shopping next.
But I like Cadbury.
Other than Nestle, is it Nestle
Glass
that
and a
does
half.
Nesquik and all that?
So I wanted to get into this properly, and I won't.
We have talked about her 3 podcasts.
I know.
ago.
I'm not going to bring up J.K.
No,
Rowling.
you've got 40 minutes left.
I know. I've got to rush this. There was a new thing though that we didn't talk about, where 150 writers, academics, and activists signed, like it was kind of a petition, and it was basically like, stop cancelling us for being creative. And a lot of people got on board, and then found out who else was on board, and said, wait, I'm not with that person, and changed their mind and pulled themselves off it. Because there was a lot of, like, she was obviously the most controversial one. And as soon as other more, like, PC writers found out she was on there, they're like, no, wait, actually cancel her, so I'm off this. And they got accused of being, like, really entitled, because a lot of them are really rich and powerful people who have a huge platform. So to be complaining about being cancelled when it's like, clearly you're not going to really be cancelled. Like, you can only do so much to her. Like, she's worth billions. She's got millions of readers that are still going to buy her stuff no matter what. Like, sure, she's copped some flack online, but really, she's not going to be hurt that much. It's more of an ego thing, I think, at this point. So, anyway, that's as much as... It's just, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this whole cancel culture thing, because it's got some victims that do deserve mockery, but then it does catch some other people, I think, in the crossfire, or there's always some collateral damage that isn't quite
Especially
fair.
comedians.
Fuck off. Yeah, well, Chris D'Elia has recently been cancelled, and that's hit him in the hip pocket finally, where his new Netflix prank show has been cancelled. It was going to come out pretty soon, and that's all just
Was that
completely...
There's a new Jim Jeffries special out on Netflix. It's pretty much the set that we saw.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, right, the one we actually saw live.
Yeah.
Cool. Does it have the really awkward bit where he went off stage and started talking to that guy about why his kid was there? 'Cause
No.
he had, like, okay. So it's not exactly the set we saw. It's just a lot of that material.
I don't even remember that bit.
No, there was some kid that was like 9 or 10, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" And he went and sat on the edge of the stage, and basically talked to this kid for 10 minutes, and made fun of his dad for bringing him to a Jim Jeffries.
Oh, yeah, no, that brings Though he does.
Like, what the fuck?
He
man?
does. Bill. He does talk. He talks about the Sydney show and how now his dad was there, and he did the bit about how his dad voted yes for gay marriage, and now all his mates just give him shit for it because he's old.
Yeah, and old people are generally bigots.
Yeah,
can't help it. Tron 3 is coming out, so pretty happy about that. Or at least an exec said it was the right time.
There was two other Trons.
There was 2 other Trons.
The
There was one in the
original Tron?
70s. There was a second one in the early 2000s.
So that's a sequel.
Which made about $5. So I don't know how they're justifying
it wasn't in the early 2000s. It was like 2011.
Wow.
It had Big
thought
Lebowski in it.
I thought that was like a standalone thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he was in the first one, so that was the whole point. It was him coming back as like the same character.
Can you tell I've seen the first one?
Gotta admit, I'd only seen it as a kid, so my memory was hazy too. I love the aesthetic. It's cyberpunk. It's just the music is awesome. It's Daft Punk did the soundtrack, and it's just if you haven't heard it, go out there and find it because it's amazing.
So with the movies reopened now, I was looking. There's nothing's out.
Yeah, well, everything's been pushed back. We've had Tenet again. It was going to be, I think, August 30 or September 30. Now it's just delayed indefinitely.
Unfortunately, not starring David Tennant. It's bullshit.
I mean, it's spelled differently, but yeah.
Close enough.
Though apparently a lot of the actors read the script and still don't understand what happened. Like, they don't know what the story means. So that doesn't bode well. I mean, that's pretty much Inception as well. Like a lot of Christopher Nolan movies that his own... I mean, I don't think he wrote it himself, but when he goes off and does something that isn't a franchise or a historical piece, like obviously Dunkirk had to stick to whatever happened in real life. Batman, you can only do so much with that. Though that got almost too confusing in the last one. Like, is he dead? Is he alive? Will we ever know? That's the same question we had at the end of Inception. Is he awake? Is he still dreaming? We'll never know. So hopefully, I know it's going to be a wild ride, but I still want to get to the end and go, okay, kind of know what happened.
I was looking at the show times and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. I've seen that. And then I went like, they're showing the original Alien.
That would be good to see.
Which I'm like, I was really tempted to go buy a ticket to go see the original Alien in cinemas.
A lot of the cast are dead, not from aliens, but from old age, because it is that old.
And I'm like,
but yeah, James Cameron was, I think,
good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was involved in that one. There was a recent podcast I listened to called Blockbuster, so check that out. It's really good.
Unfortunately, they're going out of business because there's a new podcast called Netflix. But
nice. Okay, so we'll move on. Birds of Prey 2 has been cancelled.
Oh, you would have guessed that one.
From a
No
distance.
one watched the first one. I still haven't watched it, even though apparently it's okay. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming platforms yet. I know it's out on DVD.
I think you can rent it on Amazon Prime.
Like when you've got so much content that's not free because you're obviously subscribing, but you don't want to pay more on top of the subscription.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Kanye West, I don't know, I didn't post this.
Did I read
He's
that
quit
right?
anyway. He's not doing the...
He did it for like a week, didn't he?
Yeah, it was just to promote his album, so who cares?
No, he's still running.
He's still running. He said he
still
backed
running.
down.
No, there was an update after that. Everyone's like, he's not running. No, he's still running.
I changed my mind. I'm not going to do this no more.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I'm back in now.
He's not really running.
Listen, if he's actually running, man, I think it's like $6.10 on Sportsbet for Kanye to win.
If
they've still got him up, then he must be running. Because when it comes to money and betting, then okay, I'll take your word for it.
So I'm like, do I put $1,000 on Kanye?
If magically though, Trump for whatever reason drops out, or he's just like, well, that's what he'll do. He'll do what Bernie did. He was like, you know what? I can't win this anymore, but my good friend here, Kanye West, he's the best man. He's the best man for the job. He's gonna do this.
Well,
yeah, the best man.
That's not a bad Kanye impression. I'll give you that.
You did say some awful things about an activist from there.
But Kanye's not a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah,
no,
he's no longer a Trump supporter, is he? So does he not like him then, or is he just?
He did what he had to do, but either way,
Harriet Tubman.
He
said she didn't free the slaves, which she clearly did. So.
He's probably going to be a third party, and Either Trump or Kanye is winning. Biden doesn't stand. Even though Biden apparently is the front runner.
No, the odds are that he's going to win. So.
Nah, I'm telling you, there's too many racists. There's too many racists in America.
There's a lot of racists.
And then there's also the ones that don't want to be racist. They're going to vote for Kanye because he's black.
No, I don't.
Worked with Obama.
I think the Dems have it this time, and I just can't wait because there's going to be so many people that are going to have to eat their words that have just all they've been texting or tweeting or Facebooking is Trump 2020. And just can't wait. And it's going to be pretty sweet to rub their faces in it.
The one thing
that's what matters.
The one thing that really wants me to just see the underdog Kanye West win is I want to see his victory speech for that.
No,
I would just like to thank everyone for making me president. And in his mind, he's like, "How the fuck did this happen?" He's like, I promised to be the best president. Just walks off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesus.
No, but with his ego, it wouldn't be like, how did this
No,
happen? It's like, of course this
it's
happened.
not a coronation ceremony. It's a coronation concert. He would perform the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
thank you.
This ain't bad.
You seen the Gay Fish one? South Park Gay Fish yet?
Yeah. No, I got
He can plays that.
Yeah.
It's coming out another fucking gay fish. Anyway,
Just be
sorry.
swimming around.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Far Cry 6, we've got
Looks good.
Giancarlo Esposito, or as we all know him from Breaking Bad, Fring, Gustav Fring.
Yeah, you almost...
So-
you
Took a
almost
second there, but
yeah.
I was like, I know him as Fring mostly.
So this is more of a Spanish.
Even though he's been in The Mandalorian, a bunch of other things, Community. But
what I do want to state with... Because Xbox had their event the other day.
Ooh,
And
did not catch that. Do fill us in.
yes, a lot of cool stuff out of it. Halo Infinite looks really cool.
Didn't some of the
nice.
shit look rushed though, like the brutes and all that? Wasn't that the meme going
Don't
around?
worry about it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that makes me happy out of all of it. Like every single game,
Yeah.
and there's also another game that's not Cyberpunk, but it looks cool.
Mhm.
But either way, my point of the matter is, they stated at the end of it, any game that was shown during the Xbox conference, it will be included in Game Pass.
Ooh.
Oh.
And how many games is that?
Quite
A lot of games, yeah. So
And
they're really pushing this Game Pass thing.
And did you hear about how Xbox is making their own like Google Stadia thing, which
What's
is
that?
also going to be included in the Game Pass?
But what's that? What's Google Stadia?
Google. Oh well, it's not a new thing, but like long story
No, but
short,
we don't know what it is.
No, it's fine. Off the just rushed into it. Basically, it's from what I can remember, it's basically like Netflix, but so it's kind of like the Game Pass thing. You can play what you want, but the catch is with Google Stadia. The good things about it is that they claim you can fucking play it on whatever platform you want. So you can fucking pull out your phone and play Assassin's Creed, or you can pull out your iPad and play fucking Gears of War, or whatever
it's
the
streaming.
shit. Yeah, basically. But the catches are, when you have this, you need to buy each game you want separately, which is locked on this particular Google Stadia thing. And obviously, if you're trying to play like Assassin's Creed on your phone or like a weaker device, you're going to get some lag issues and things like that. It's obviously not going to be as strong. So obviously, if you're playing something online as well, that's probably going to heavily affect you as well. There's a few little kinks there, and they weren't thinking about that. Long story short, Microsoft is coming out with their own version. I don't know all the big things about it, but apparently like they're investing a lot into it. They're really fucking trying, and they're not charging you like a lot for it, and they're not trying to fucking lock it onto this particular thing. They're just adding it to the Game Pass.
They've already sort of got that in a way. They've got their sort of, there are certain titles that play anywhere, so you can like if you own it on Xbox, you can play it on your PC.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
I imagine it'll kind of be like that, but just a lot more streamlined and just easier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think until everyone has 5G and their network supports
I
it,
do.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
As someone who heavily hates like subscription-based things, that is looking more and more into someone who loved Xbox and was like, fuck Xbox Live. No, fuck PlayStation Plus. No. The more I look at this Xbox thing, I'm like, okay, now I'm being convinced.
How long before Game Pass sponsors me? Because I've been pushing them for months. Years almost.
You are shilling hard for those people. You
Listen,
are
I
sick.
sold out the day they gave me a free controller.
Oh.
I sold out the day I met Phil Spencer.
That's a pretty big man. You got to get him on here. That'll go well.
Oh, God.
Far Cry 6 Collector's Edition comes with a sausage dog keyring, a bunch of artwork and a flamethrower, by the way.
Okay.
So,
Wait, an actual flamethrower?
if it's Elon Musk has anything to do with it, yes. But God knows
It looks like a proper.
It's probably a prop.
Is it lifelike? Like, so to size?
Life size.
Yeah, it looks to scale. It's pretty fucking big. So yeah. Bring it
What's
on.
the date today? The
25th.
25th. 3 days. Destroy All Humans drops.
Which I've done a playthrough on my Twitch, which you can view on my Twitch. And I have an editor doing that.
You mean the sequel? Because wasn't there an original?
Okay, so there's Destroy All Humans 1, Destroy All Humans 2, Destroy All Humans 3.
And then there was Big Willy.
Isn't 3 Big Willy?
No, that's Path of the Furon.
No, that's 4.
Jesus.
What? 4. Furon is after Big Willy.
Yeah. Path of the Furon. But the Big Willy one on the Nintendo, wait, don't play it. It was just kind of like a spin-off thing.
I wouldn't say don't play it. I enjoyed it.
But they got rid of the original voice actors.
Yeah.
You got these fucking dude. You got this dude trying to be Invader Zim. Oh yes, Crypto, I'm the best, and you need to do this. You got this other dude trying to be like a bad.
Yes, but as a 15-year-old, I didn't notice it, and then also as a 15-year-old who found the Easter eggs on every map that allowed you to basically create an alien invasion, I was all in on it.
So because I honestly dropped
So this
out.
is like a reboot type, like you know.
It's a remake of the first one
Yeah.
with some features from the second one in it.
Right,
Yeah,
cool.
it's kind of like what they did with Crash Bandicoot. Only I think with Crash Bandicoot they
It's
kind
just
of
a remaster.
rebuilt that from the ground up. With this, as
Is
far
a-
as I know,
this
it's
is a-
kind of like a facelift.
No,
And,
no. From what I've gathered, no.
No?
Because I'm a huge Destroy Humans fan.
Yeah, me too.
So I looked into this. It's a complete remake.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're building it from the ground
Building
up.
it from the ground
Well,
up.
they have to now.
It's actually got a mission that was cut from the first game in it as well.
Yeah, because they found that there was some
Yeah.
spare code and shit in there, right? And apparently they're adding a little bit more extra voice acting in there, which will be interesting to see compared to the older stuff.
It's going to be real interesting when they eventually come a game that's just voice acting. You're going to be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, like I pick up on all these little things now because they do the voice. When I was streaming Destroy All Humans, I noticed some of the characters you might see like a farmer, same character farmer's like, Martha, go give me the shotgun. But then when you attack him, he changes voices. I'm gonna help get that guy, Martha, because they didn't think about it. It's just like
They're different people playing the same voice.
playing the same character, yeah. Or one of these characters was just literally Goofy, just Goofy. I still love it though.
Now, but Destroy Humans 2, I think, is...
It sounds
one of my
charmingly
favourite
flawed. Like it's got flaws, but you could live with them.
Can I digress a little bit for like one more minute?
Go ahead. We only got another 30 minutes.
I need your opinion, and I won't judge you if you think otherwise, but you probably will disagree with me. The one thing I do not like about this Destroy All Humans thing, the graphics look nice, the environment looks great. I don't really care about graphics. I'll still play. I'll still love it. Okay, Alien looks great. Humans look fucking terrible.
Yeah, I think I saw a trailer for it.
The humans don't look terrible. But if you take like a picture, for example, of if you can find it, that's fine. If you don't want to, if you can find a picture of like the farmer on the PS2 and the farmer from like the remake, the one on the PS2, putting your eyes like back in the day, to me that looks like a farmer like that you would see. Like it looks like a believable farmer. The one in the remake looks like unbelievably like childish, like stereotypical, like buck tooth, just like. And
Destroy Humans has kind of always sort of been
Like cartoon.
slapstick kind of
slapstick.
I understand.
With a voice actor who isn't quite Jack Nicholson, but is.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean,
I've said this. Some people are like, "What do you mean? He doesn't sound like Jack Nicholson." Voice actor understands that he sounds like Jack Nicholson. Thank you.
He sounds like
vindication.
He sounds like a young Jack Nicholson that's really pissed off about something.
Let's not forget that in Path of the Furon, they straight up dressed him like Jack Nicholson in one of the scenes.
I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, what,
Yeah,
just a
they
suit?
gave him the hair, the glasses. He had a Hawaiian top on. He was sitting back at like.
Oh, okay.
It was Jack Nicholson.
All right.
They could have essentially just paid Jack Nicholson to play Crypto.
But that's
I might play it because I keep hearing good things about the original.
I will
series
tell you
or
now.
whatever.
Your kid will love it.
Right.
You'll love it. Lewis will love it.
it's very
But it's not just on the Xbox. It'll be all platforms.
Yeah.
I've pre-ordered it on PC.
Yeah.
And a lot the people who are watching me got it on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure it's everywhere except for the Switch.
Well, I just
as far as
spent
I know.
29 plus hours playing a game that is only on one platform, and that is the Sony PlayStation 4. And that game was The Last of Us 2.
I thought he was going to go with Spider-Man because we've talked about The Last of Us 2 now 3 podcasts in a row.
Yeah, but we haven't actually played it. So whereas I just finished it.
I think,
And you know all the spoilers already.
I know most of the spoilers.
I know everything.
And he obviously knows everything because he just reads but never plays or watches.
No,
things.
I've had
He
very
just reads
big
comments.
No, I've had lots of discussions about it. I've seen all the footage. I've talked to my friends about it. Who, one of them very much enjoyed it. He very much enjoyed it.
You still haven't played it.
And no, not myself because I don't want to buy it because it looks like it sucks to me. And why would I spend my money on that? I will say that what's the girl that everyone doesn't like?
Abby.
She looks cute. I
don't know if cute's the right word. I think she's cool.
I think she's pretty.
I don't see the issue anyone has. Like, oh, how could 4 years be long enough for her to get muscles? Because obviously...
She kind of just looks like a musclier Brigitte from Overwatch.
Yeah, she's basically Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, they based it off.
It looks just like her body.
They mocapped...
If you've seen Fast and Furious,
oh, no,
I think it's 8 that she's in, where she has that fight with Vic's girlfriend. Dom. His girlfriend.
I love it.
Letty. Dom and Letty, right? So Letty has a massive, like...
Dong?
Fist fight with Ronda Rousey.
Well, no, she's got massive dong energy, though.
Yeah.
Letty's got
Big
dong
dong
energy.
energy.
She does. She's got big dick energy or big dom energy. And she's awesome. Even with all the drink driving convictions.
I'm trying to think if it is 8. Because it's in Dubai.
Yeah, it's the one where they jump a car, and it's the one where Paul Walker got sayonara. Like they had that beautiful Where Everyone Cried in the cinema.
It's got to be, yeah. And then Fast 9 was Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. That's right, where they came in more. And Fast 9 hasn't come out yet, has it?
I mean, I'm counting Hobbs and Shaw as Fast 9.
Okay.
Like
again, that's been pushed till next year.
Again,
no movies are coming out this year in America, so it's that issue of like, do we get films and before they do?
Like it wasn't called Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift. It was just Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, but I mean, given none of the original gang are in like Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, but none of the original gang were in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, Vin Diesel was in it.
Right at the end.
Still, is that connected?
Yeah, but The Rock has been a main character in Fast and Furious for 3 movies before that as well. So
yeah, I think it's got the main bad guy from the Fast and Furious story
and
arc.
Cena's meant to be in the next one.
They're not calling it 9, so you'll get a bit confused when 9 comes out if you've been calling it 9. Anyway, so yeah, Ronda Rousey. If you watch the Angry Joe, I don't agree with all these points, but he does a pretty funny review of The Last of Us 2. But I've watched about 10 reviews, and I'm going to do the worst of all reviews so far because I haven't written anything down. Stop messaging me. How do I turn off the vibration on an S9 Plus? Tell me in the comments.
Stick it on your leg.
It's
Or
going to
like
do it
that.
in like one button. Okay, good to know. I'll have to remember that.
It's also
I'm such a
won't ring
fucking
now.
boomer.
we got a boomer, a
still
zoomer,
offends me.
and
Like
whatever the fuck I am.
this chick said that you're all such boomers. I'm out of here, and I'm like, because this what? I get it if you're being racist or a bigot. It just made no sense in that context. But anyway,
Like, how would you not know to ask me? I had that exact phone.
yeah, true. And I'm now thinking about an S20, but I want to wait for this
I've
Galaxy.
got the S20.
I know, but there's this new Galaxy that's coming out. There's all these previews, and you got to wait till like I think October for there's going to be this big splashy
Yes, but
reveal.
we're filming on my phone. This,
It's pretty good.
yeah, powered by the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra.
Look up the camera specs for it if that's what you're concerned about.
No, just this works. So
My phone's got 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah,
I think
It's
it
the
might.
same as this laptop.
That's crazy. But yeah, so basically you play as it's touted. I think a lot of people are pissed off because for the first, say, 8-9 hours of the game, or the first half, you're playing as the titular title character, Ellie, who you played as in the first game, along with Joel. And as everyone knows, okay, spoilers. Only listen to the rest, please, if you've played the game to the end. But we know a lot of people aren't going to listen to that, but that's fine. Because I gave the game to my 11-year-old son, of course, after playing it myself, and told him to avoid a certain cutscene, because you do see there is a boob, briefly. And the thing is, it is Abby's boob. So it doesn't really look like a real boob. It's just like it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s.
Question. I've had
But
people.
still.
I've had people like they don't give me a straight answer. I'm under the impression that she's transgender.
No.
But well, okay, that's fine then, because I had people say no, she's not actually transgender. She's just a muscly woman,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I had other people say no, and they played it. They're like, no, she's transgender, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I think
Tell
there's
me.
some confusion there because there's a character that ultimately
bangs
redeems
her,
her, named Lev, and he is transgender. Because you hear it when you're fighting these scars that he's defected from or left because he cut his hair off because he wants to be a boy, obviously. Because he's only like 12 or 13, it's hard to tell. Yeah. But basically, he's like, no, I'm a boy, I'm out of here. And they're a really strict religious cult, so they're like, no, your name's Jessica, come back and marry this old man.
It's always a Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica.
So you hear that being called out. So it's a bit confusing, like, why are they calling Lev this girly name? And that comes up in the cutscene, and he's like, no, that's just who I am, blah, 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 and that's fine. It's dealt with a bit clumsily, but it's not like a character... it doesn't really drive the plot. It's just like explanation as to why they're on the run, these two siblings. And basically, one of them doesn't make it, and then Abby's stuck saving Lev as long as she can.
Yeah.
And then you've got... it's just a really... I want to say this, because I'm not going to be able to cover everything I want to in the short amount of time that Jaden's given me. But because I could do an hour just on this game. So I'll say this. It's a lot. There's a fucking lot to get your head around and your heart. And it will break you. It will piss you off. It will frustrate you. It will mostly just depress you. It's the most nihilistic, like, soul-crushingly, love-grinding into the dust game I've ever played. And I don't regret it. Because it still made me just sit there for hours afterwards going, what the fuck was that? And like you're going and reading everything you can. I've joined all the Shiv. There's a group called Last of Us 2 Shiv posting, which is cute because it's like she uses
it's not Shiv Palpatine
instead of shit posting.
You it.
It's gonna be the second time I've put him in.
There's a lot of juvenile stuff in there, but there's some funny memes as well. Like there's one where they replace the cutscene of Abby being done rather hard from behind by her boyfriend Owen, whose pregnant girlfriend is down the road. And,
he's cheap.
They've replaced the, and I might send this to you so I can put it there, and it's basically the main character from Ghost of Tsushima behind her, and the it just fits perfectly. Because that's the other new game that's come out, and there's a bit to talk about there because a lot of left wing, and I don't like using the lefty as an insult, but a lot of people on the far left have said, no, you can't do that. You're a Western developer. You can't go and make a game about Japan, especially set in the samurai era. You don't know anything about it, and it's just wrong. And they're all upset.
It's funny every time, man. It's funny every time.
Can we have a samurai counter? Like ding!
It'll start here. It'll start here. It'll be like it'll be like the Team 4-star Krillin gets owned.
They are samurais. I don't know what the issue is.
Any viewers from that culture will be like, finally, someone who fucking pronounces it correctly.
Exactly. I live there. I should know. So basically. That's the problem a lot of people have with this game. I don't think it's really that many people. I think it's been inflated to just create clickbait. Because on the opposite side, you've got Japanese reviewers and gamers who apparently love it.
Hey, look, Sean's
so there's no issue.
Yeah, because they don't read too much into it.
It's no one ever just. And I'm glad he turned off the vibration because with this glass table. So no one ever rings, calls, texts me ever. I'm just sitting here by myself or driving a truck or playing a video game or harassing these two online. Until we do a podcast. And then I'm getting messages, texts, phone calls.
He's Mr. Popular.
Yeah.
And see, I'm a smart cookie. When I'm filming this thing, my phone's in airplane mode. So you can't ring me if you tried.
But I need to access Facebook, so I can't.
Well, you can do that and turn on data.
Yeah, but...
Or Wi-Fi. You got
keeps
Wi-Fi.
resetting, and I don't know. I just feel more comfortable when I'm connected. I'm definitely addicted. Which leads me into another tangent, which I shouldn't do. I haven't finished the review, but Rabbit Hole. Check it out. It's a podcast about people that are addicted to YouTube and Facebook and all that sort of thing. And it's just popped up. There's 8 episodes so far, and it's about a guy who starts listening to one slightly right-wing podcast and YouTube channel, and then just goes down the rabbit hole. He ends up on like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and all these other people, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. There's Lauren Southern, and then finally he discovers this guy named Destiny, who's like a streamer, and he does a lot of like.
And he streams really a lot of Destiny.
I don't know if I was trying to find his podcast, and he did one with another guy called Trihex, who's also a famous streamer apparently, and that guy is a black dude, and that's cool. They did 30 episodes together, and they were quite chummy, and it was a funny podcast, and he would get right-wing people on and just tear them new assholes, and it's hilarious. But then Trihex found out that Destiny would apparently use the N-word quite a bit in casual conversation, and because this Destiny guy is such a fierce libertarian centrist who won't be censored in any way whatsoever, even though he found out that Trihex did not appreciate that and didn't like that he was dropping the N-word, he didn't give him permission. That's the thing. You need
I think
even with permission, you need
You mean a pass him?
Okay, listen.
To call him
Your
that,
pass
is
is
what you're
not
saying?
valid if you are unless you're with the person who gave you the pass.
Exactly. If you're with, and even then, I don't think I'd
And
use the pass.
even then, the person who gave you the pass has got to back up that they gave you the pass.
Yeah, publicly, and I don't think now. Back when I was a teenager, for sure, I grew up on all sorts of rap and hip hop, and it didn't even occur to me that that was the wrong word to use. But now, obviously, you grow up, and
Yeah, no, you learn things.
I think if someone told me now, "Hey, I'm a black guy, you can use the N word with me," I still wouldn't feel comfortable using it. But yeah, so he didn't change his tune, and the podcast broke up after 30 episodes, which saddens me. And it weirdly broke my podcast app. Every time I try and download one, the whole thing just crashes. So
Now,
like a
speaking
metaphor.
of podcasts, first of all, because I've got two to mention,
Right.
and then I'm going to let him say something because he got an article up on his phone about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, if you got, I just brought
just-
that.
No,
up.
just
I don't
roll
care.
through.
I don't care.
Roll on.
It's fine. We've got a solid 15 minutes.
Oh shit!
So,
Good things you have.
attention! Podcast banana split.
Yes,
Not us.
right.
The other one.
Oh, the other one.
The
Yes.
other one. The
Has
other
there
one.
been any updates on that? Because a few
No,
weeks ago.
not at all.
Right. Okay.
There's another podcast. It's called Podcast Banana Split with,
Yeah.
with heavily thick accents.
Yeah. I
With
think he's
one
Spanish or
with
something.
one intro episode that goes for about a minute and then nothing.
It's got
No.
the same name.
We should
It's not us. So delete them, please.
we should find out what language they like. They speak a different language.
No, it's in English.
But
Oh,
it's
okay.
just bad English.
Oh,
Sorry.
We should try and impersonate them for one episode, just for the intro, just to confuse people.
Okay.
Maybe for April Fools next
No,
year.
no,
You
only
can
if,
do the voice. You
only
have
if-
to hear it.
only if
Oh,
they,
me too.
only if they get a good amount of viewers.
Yeah.
So, secondly, I started watching and I'm listening to a new podcast.
Okay.
This never happens. Okay.
It's
go on.
called it's produced by Rooster Teeth because of course all my ones are. However, this is called Red Web, which is all about conspiracy theories.
Ooh.
Yes.
There's another one I listen to called QAnon, so check that out. It's not a Q run. It's about QAnon people. It makes fun of them and it's very clever. So check that out.
Yes.
Yours is called the similar
Red
sort of-
Web.
Right. Okay.
And recently they were they went down a rabbit hole of
Yes,
Reddit
they did.
threads.
Yep.
Basically finding a website that suspiciously in the source code had a lot of things that was potentially hinting at it that it was a hitman like
In the subreddit.
Assassination.
Because that stuff's
sort
normally on the dark web.
no
And they're
no
normally
it was
cops.
it was another web basically it was just all code words and people someone was dying and then like certain dates linked up with other dates of an assassination happened in a hotel when 29 rooms that they had booked out were all there.
Sounds like the Pizzagate thing.
Yeah.
Those code words.
But it's yeah.
That sounds like that thing where someone posted an Amazon shop and it had all this furniture for sale, and it was a cupboard for like $12,000, but it weirdly in the product code had the name of a missing girl.
Oh,
Remember the
those
name of
things,
the-
yeah.
Oh,
that,
no.
That went around for a while.
Yeah.
And everyone was pissed off at the company, but it wasn't the company. It was just someone that sold their on-sold it. You know, like they.
Yeah, IKEA did it, I think it was.
No, it wasn't as big as IKEA, but it was some American chain.
Right. Yeah, but
And
it was
they
an
just took
IKEA
their
chain. It's
furniture
like,
and were like, here, I'm reselling it for ridiculous amounts of money. And it was clearly like a 4chan troll, but everyone fell for it. And you're idiots.
I just thought
Stop.
of a company
Now.
name, Pack a Bitch.
But what are you selling?
What do you
Is it like
think?
a career company?
$12,000 closet missing person. Pack a bitch.
Now,
We give you what
That's-
you know.
I do not endorse that.
we have
Oh, neither do I.
Right, so sad news. Everyone knows this already, but we just want to mention and salute the great man that is Grant Imahara, the host of Mythbusters for a long time. I don't think it was right there at the beginning, but him and the other two that came in, the blonde guy and the really attractive girl that they made fart all day. You ever see that one? They wanted to determine how often women fart compared to men. And I think they finally got her once. So Yeah,
Okay.
that's weirdly. But obviously, they blew up lots of stuff in the name of science, and
Yes,
he
he was
already
also.
he was in the Star Wars.
Yeah,
movie.
if you ever watched the Late Late Show of Craig Ferguson, he created the Jeffrey Peterson skeleton
Oh,
robot.
cool. And he did another show. I can't remember the name.
White Rabbit.
White Rabbit. Okay, you remembered. I actually watched it
I've
when I
watched it.
first got Netflix or
Yeah.
something. It was pretty good. Not as like the formula wasn't for me as interesting as
Yes,
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters, yeah.
Like the what would you call it? The concept
Yeah.
and all that. Like, but still, Grant I think carried the show because
Yeah.
he's just such an interesting, intelligent,
Very likable guy.
charismatic guy, and it's like fuck. He's only 49, and he had a brain aneurysm or whatever it was, and it's just fucked. Like
Yeah.
the number of people that are still alive that shouldn't be. Donald Trump. What the fuck? Or even our
Dave.
guy. Dave. Fuck Dave.
Our guy.
Dave.
One thing, I am watching a new series on Netflix. It's in German. It's How to Sell Drugs Online Fast.
Is it a fictional series or a
Yeah.
documentary?
They claim it to be a documentary.
Right.
Like the character's like, you should never tell anyone
So
this
it's like
and
The
that.
Office.
Kind of, but not. It's weird.
Alright.
It's really. I recommend watching it. It's
Oh, send me
interesting.
a link. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
For someone that buys a lot of drugs online, that's fascinating. No, I don't really. Don't look that up.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You
Maybe.
never know if we're joking. Like if I'm a
He's
communist.
friends
or
with
not.
the devil. He can just ask him for something.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't afford that
Okay,
stuff.
so
But because I'm here, I just make it go poof. I'm sorry.
new update on Overwatch.
Yeah, what's that about?
Oh, you know about it too, do you?
No, I fucking read your phone.
Oh, is that the
obviously.
thing with the rope? And then people complained because it was like hanging.
Yeah,
The noose.
like
The
it was.
noose,
It's
the
like when I
noose.
tell someone to go buy a rope.
Yeah.
They've removed the spray from McCree, which is a noose.
Ugh.
What do you mean by spray?
Well, it's like it's alright. So you sort of like a lot of games,
Yeah.
like Gmod for an example. If you push T on your keyboard, it sprays a photo onto the wall based off your quick bar selection of whatever you've put there. Overwatch sort of the same thing. You can do emotes off of a
That's
quick
like an
bar.
Kind of like
God,
boomer vision. You know, like how kids they put like their tags on the wall with spray paint,
Okay.
like that.
It's like a little thing that he does as a personality quirk. Like
Yeah,
each
like
character.
but that's
personality,
all character
yes.
has a
Yeah,
set.
all
Yeah,
different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he's a cowboy, they thought, yeah, all right, cool, have a fucking noose.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not going to fly in 2020.
But it's
Sorry,
it's
dude.
all the cowboy flicks and all that.
Now,
Okay. Yep. You want to? I interrupted.
No, I'll
you.
let you continue because the mine's getting slightly off point. Still Overwatch, but go ahead. You're still on this,
I won't mention it too much in it because I did a video on this anyway, which you can see on my channel. But
which will be right here.
I mean, it's not integral to the plot.
Oh, really?
of
It'll
the
be in
game.
the description
no,
because I'm not
you're
sure
right.
how to put
It
that.
is not integral.
It's a superficial thing. So
My only argument about it, though, is basically the term, the snowball effect, or you give them an inch, you give them a mile, that sort of thing. It's fine now, but for example, after I did this, I saw some fucking dude put a tweet out and be like, good on ya, that's great. Putting that aside whether you agree or not. They then commented, can we now do the same thing with Arissa's quote? Arissa is a omnic.
that's right. Some of them
And
have
she
police,
wrote-
police uniforms or something.
No, not even
There's
that.
some stuff about that.
Not even that. She just says, because she's a protector, she protects people.
Yeah.
She says, I told you to stop resisting. They
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
ban the voice line because she says the phrase resisting.
Yeah, no, I heard
Because
it. I saw that.
oh, so offensive.
So I'm assuming you play Overwatch.
Yes, I've played it like since it came out.
Do you have a class that you main?
I play whatever is
Main.
needed.
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah. Alright. So who's your mains in each class? Then would you say?
Reinhardt.
No,
Zarya.
who would have guessed that one?
Reinhardt.
What a shock.
Well, I like Zarya.
Given
though.
that he
What about
cosplays
Zarya?
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
She's pretty, so yeah, I like her. She's cute. Junkrat or I don't know. I don't really play attackers too much because everyone else wants to play attackers.
Exactly. They're always like level 3, and then
Yeah, and they're like, I can do this, guys, and then they die. Healers, Mercy, Moira.
Oh, I love me some Moira. Moira's my go-to.
Yeah. Oh, May. May's like my main attacker. Because yeah, exactly.
It's just if you've got a useless Mei on your team that just
Oh.
puts an ice wall up in front of you, and you just go.
Or Torbjorn
That would
Bassi.
be-
I
I would
play
do
the
that.
cancer characters actually.
Yeah.
I play the like if I'm attacker. I play
I
the
want to
cancer
talk
character.
about an experimental update that's coming out.
Okay.
Well, in the experimental stuff is for Moira, they've broken her a little bit. You know how she does her
Do
phases?
you mean nerfed?
No, they've buffed her a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Moira
Is that
Opposite of nerfing.
experimental. So
Nerfing is
So it's in the
testing.
the testing server, whatever
Yeah,
it's
I
called.
believe so. Moira's teleport thing now. You know how she teleports and phases away and becomes invulnerable?
Moira, she flashes forward,
Yeah, or
dashes
backward,
and
yeah.
shit,
Yeah. So any teammates nearby that, get that, but they just sort of stay wherever they are, but they become invulnerable for like 6 seconds.
So they kind of do like a Reaper thing, how they
Yeah.
just sort of phase in and out. So that basically she makes people that she passes through invulnerable.
Yeah. For the team, at least.
Now let me tell you something that someone who hasn't played the game, for people out there. All these characters have what is called ultimates, or basically attacks that can just one-hit kill you.
Right.
Which is sometimes very, very important.
I call
When-
bullshit on Hanzo's one.
Spider-Man has that.
So, say for example, you have, and these take a fair amount of time to build up.
Unless
Probably
you're
like
Moira.
a couple minutes. Yeah, unless you're Moira. And you're like, okay, there's like 10 seconds left to the end of the match. I need to get them off this point right now. Let's use my ability that I've charged up for a few minutes. I've been
let's say you're
waiting.
Diva and you want to self-destruct.
Yeah, set off a big bomb, to blow everyone up. Okay, we're about to win. This one character then, as you just said, could basically, assuming you're in the right position.
Yeah.
All right, you two are in front of me. I'm going to zoom right through you two at the right moment. Boom, nobody's dead. You just wasted your thing that you spent a few minutes on. We pop you, you're dead, we win. So that's where the controversy is going to come in.
And another thing with her balls.
How often is that going to happen though?
You'd
You'd
have
line
to.
them up, and the odds are. I don't know.
I'm kind of with you because I'm biased. I don't really like to nerf things, but I understand that sometimes you would have to.
They've buffed her balls as well.
Her ball. I love her ball.
Her
Nothing
damage
like a
balls.
good ball buff.
So you know how it does like 50 damage per second on multiple targets? If it's attacking one target, the first second is 150 plus a 50 on top of that.
I love her. I love her.
They've broken her severely.
If I told anyone that I love Moira as well, I love Moira.
So confused.
She make sucky and she make healy. She do both.
She's a healer she's a support character
How
that should be
sucky
an
help
attack.
anyone in a video game?
She sucks them dry and like heals her. And
She
then
sucks
gives someone
someone.
else.
She can suck a life essence to
Oh,
heal
like
herself.
vampirically, not in the pleasure-giving way. Okay.
No.
Right.
She's a good healer, but she can also fuck you up.
She's she's a very good. She's a decent healer. She's a much better attacker than half the attacking.
Good to know.
But
Anyway,
they removed the spray. I thought it was a bit,
too much.
a bit too much. But
Yeah, I'm on the fence there.
I don't care about the spray. It's not the spray that matters.
Yeah.
But I did a video on it if you want to hear more about it. Oh, the rumor has it they removed it because rumors that the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, now apparently have claimed that it is a racist symbol. My only mild issue with that is if we are claiming something like that is a racist symbol, are we going to take things, even think current things like The Witcher, like anything
bit like
medieval,
this thing.
any Western movies? Are we just going to fucking ban the use
That
of
would be
lassos
fucked
now?
up though. If I was just sat here like this the whole time, even if it was just off camera, like knowing that it can be taken that way.
Like, so at that point, if
There's
I
a
tell...
cosplayer that does that. He's like Warhammer, right? And apparently in a lot of photos he's like doing this thing, and people got pissed at him for that. He's like Terry something. But
So, if...
Oh, I think I know. I don't
what do you
remember.
do?
I think I've met Terry.
Seems like a nice guy. But
Was he
just like
lifelike?
it's funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Was he, like,
let's
really
just-
tall?
Terry
Yeah.
recognized as my my wrestling cosplays.
Ah, cool.
Oh, I think.
Anyway, I just think
I think.
for me it's always been like an okay.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
just, to me it
So
sounds like
let's
that. where
keep
they're
in
just
mind,
taking it the wrong
John
way.
Yeah,
Cena does
exactly.
this.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, that's considered racist or something.
But
now,
John
yeah?
Cena does this.
To me, it's context. Like if you see a
Exactly.
cop in a line of other cops and they're walking past about to set up as riot cops, like at a protest, and they do it to a camera, then you're not saying okay. You're wolf. What do they call it? Like a racist dog whistle to other people that are on the right. So I think now, things have changed a bit. Like the Hitler moustache, no one can ever do that again without the double meaning.
like-
So
Even
What if
even
I'm a really big Charlie Chaplin fan?
it's gone.
Yeah.
There's just no more. Sorry, done.
So is that whenever if the noose is
The noose.
is a racial
Symbol.
thing now,
Yeah.
is any time I tell a toxic player to go buy a rope racist?
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. Some other people were quoting that they were removing it because they were using it
Especially if the guy's
to...
name is like, I'm a black dude.
Yeah.
2016 or whatever.
Go buy a rope and a ladder.
But that was the other thing. They were claiming they were removing it because they were using it to threaten other players. And I'm like, okay, I suppose it's a valid argument, but you know what they're going to do? They're just going to find something else. Yeah, they're just going to use the teabagging spray. Oh, my balls are... They're going to start squatting on you. They're going to use something else to fuck with you or threaten you. Like,
Right.
they'll just find something else. But anyway.
I just want to... I've got to run through this, obviously,
Yeah.
because
Rapid
Jaden
fire
doesn't
yourself.
want to do too much work. He has a job now.
No, I not now. I have a job still.
That actually requires
Me
him
to
to
be
be
there.
there. Yeah. Scooby-Doo producer has confirmed that Velma Dinkley is definitely a lesbian, so that's something we all knew, but it's nice to...
No, wait.
have it-
The nerd.
What?
Velma.
Bullshit.
yes.
She went on
the nerd.
dates in the movie.
Yes, the nerd
Bullshit.
from the game. She's
Bullshit.
a lesbian. No,
Bullshit. She
the
dated
producer.
Shaggy. Bullshit.
She was...
She dated Shaggy, and then Shaggy dumped her because Scooby-Doo was getting jealous. Look it up. It's on YouTube.
Also,
was
not to mention the
bullshit.
live-action movie.
Discovered-
Objection! Sorry.
You can still have had a male relationship, like a straight relationship, and then discover that how many lesbians were married and have kids?
Yeah, but
Come
she
on.
was infatuated with him.
Yeah, but
Maybe
she's
bi.
discovered herself. She's
Yes,
now
but
she knows.
let's be honest. Shaggy is very feminine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You underestimate my true powers, Scooby.
Hayden Christensen is rumoured to return in the Star Wars Plus show, or Disney Plus show, so that's cool. I always thought he deserved a second chance. He needs to redeem himself after that whole sand meme.
I don't like sand.
Yeah.
It's harsh and it gets everywhere.
Someone's got to just redeem him. Like, it won't be obviously the actor. He doesn't write the show, but just... It's like, if you can bring him back and make him cool again, imagine what they could do for Jar Jar. There's a chance. If they can do it for him, then
Yeah,
we're
Jar
on.
Jar has been Snoke all along.
Nick Cannon, some American comedian that hosts a lot of things, got cancelled for saying something about Jewish people. He apologised and now he's kind of okay
It's
again.
fine. He's got his
That's
own
all.
show. There's
He
nothing.
was
Wait
saying
a
they're not
minute.
the real Hebrews. They're not.
Wait.
We're the black people
He-
are the real Jewish people.
He was he that fucked out on the radio show that was being an absolute racist? Who got
Depends what
kicked
you
off the
mean.
radio show?
I don't think so.
There was this
he
one-
He didn't get kicked off his show. This is an older podcast.
It was a radio
or something.
podcast or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh, okay. It might be
He
someone
was
else.
saying basically
Okay, I
that
take it back.
you know the
Might be someone
Hebrews we're the Hebrews, and then he went and talked to a lot of
Hebrews.
rabbis. Yeah, actual rabbis, and they're like, "No, you were wrong."
I
And
think
then he came out and tweeted.
Just like,
"Sorry,
is your
guys."
dick
I think it was
circumcised?
him.
Well,
I
then-
won't talk about it now because I know we don't.
And I don't know why I shared this, but I thought it was kind of cool that the Colombian cartels, you have to flash up the image, but they're walking around in these giant white mop suits. They look like the bad guys from a zombie movie that are like, the corporate, or
Yeah,
like
the government.
Resident
Resident
Evil.
Evil.
Yeah,
The
right.
quarantine people.
Anyway,
that
and they're just
everyone.
shooting anyone that breaks the quarantine. And they're gang members.
Whoa.
Like, what kind of world are we living in? What are those? Like,
They're red shoes.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. But yeah, I just think that was there's a premise there for a video game. That's all I see. And it's sad that people are dying from both Corona and gang members with guns. But there's a really good video game.
People are dying.
Story
and
there.
like, that'd be a good video game.
Belle Delphine's Gamer Girl condoms have sold out, of course. So
Wait, she...
next
oh,
release,
yeah.
you better get in there quick.
Yeah,
Because
she's done
they're
music videos
branded with
too.
her name, as far as I can tell. And
Man,
that's it.
you really gotta hand it to her. She's a fucking
genius.
genius.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So we're looking at American theatres possibly closed till mid-2021.
Victoria potentially locked out for the next 2 years from the rest of the country.
Yeah. Just
Fucking A.
build a wall. We've got the army along all the border crossings, so it's already pretty much like a wall of steel and guns. And you
got
had
a
that
picture
idiot
of
the other
Trump on
day, that girl that drove through and was like, you're arresting me? Did I do anything wrong? So can you let me go? And the officer's clearly just a jack of her shit and has had a 12-hour day standing there waving cars for her and is just fucking what? And let her go. Which I think, like, now they're saying they're going to fine her. But the cop let her go through. So as much as I think she's a fucking douche and wrong by avoiding
You
the
think it's like it's been
test
in
or
the
whatever they
past
want.
at this point?
Well, she was avoiding. Normally, they just go, look, have you been sick? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Or to make sure they've got a valid reason to cross the border.
Yeah.
And she just, no, fuck off, bye. And then, like, the audacity of this bitch, after the crossing, she goes to camera like, I feel so good. And it's just like, fuck this woman. But the cop, I think, should get some flack for just waving her through
Yeah,
as well. So.
yeah. I would have shot her tires. What?
Idris Elba endorses warnings, not removal, of old shows deemed racist. Well, that's what's happening. Gone with the Wind, it just got a warning now, so that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we had that kid that
Yeah,
saved his
alright.
sister from the dog. Everyone's chipped in for that kid. You've got Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, the Spider-Man kid. So it's all quite exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Metacritic changed its user score submission system. So that was the one thing that was The Last of Us 2 related, entirely based on this game. Because people were reviewing it before it came out. And now they've got a requirement where, I don't know how you prove it, but you've got to have at least played the game. They won't let anyone drop a review
Before it's out.
It was
before
like,
it's been out for like a day or two.
if I'm correct, it's not necessarily if you've played the game, because I don't think that they have a way
hard
to
to prove
register.
that, yeah.
But I believe it's about 35 hours after the release of the game.
Yeah.
So I imagine they'd have some kind of record of, okay, this game released, Destroy All Humans is coming out on 28th of yada yada.
Yeah.
35 hours from this date, you can start posting reviews. I think that's
Which
how
should have been that way from the beginning.
But they did post. They do posting warnings on the thing, like warning something. Please play the game before you do a review.
Please, like, do we have to even ask? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. There's rumors that Giancarlo Esposito, he's getting a lot of work. Gustav Fring will be playing Doctor Doom in the MCU, so that will be cool. There's a lot of people in Cosplay in Action saying why, but he's not white, which is pretty funny considering the original character was a Slavic or Romanov gypsy, so and has appeared. There's a few times his helmet was off, looked rather more brown than white, but hey, just idiots. You can reimagine it. He could be a transgender dwarf that's pansexual. Doesn't matter. It's a reimagining. You've got a new director, writer, do whatever you want.
So long as you're not doing it for political points and you're doing it to just make the thing better.
Yeah, if it leads to a better, interesting story.
If he's a good actor and he's going to fucking nail it, then get him on board, sure.
Yeah, but the kid's name is Bridger Walker. What a cool name. Angry Joe. Oh yeah, so Angry Joe again. Some lady that he'd had on once, he's suing because she claimed on Twitter that he'd sexually harassed her by saying she was cute in her costume.
What?
If you read the article, because I was like, I like this guy. I don't want to find out that he's some kind of creep, and he doesn't really project that. I mean, they never do, but I just thought that seems really off. And if you go, we'll have to delete this while I read it. This is it. The messages reveal, shockingly, this is the scandal, that he called her outfit. See, it was right on it. Now it's... Anyway, he said she looks super cute in her outfit. Sex was never discussed. There, she looked super cutie in her 80s cosplay getup. That was part of the banter.
Yeah.
So
from someone who's watched his stuff from when he only had like fucking 10 subscribers and he did really cringy material.
Yeah.
Up to now, I know that he has confirmed to fans that was not his girlfriend. It was I don't remember what she did on the show specifically.
Right.
But even
it's just a guest.
Yeah, even like she would appear in skits and stuff, I believe, as well. Right. But like even in the skits and that, he would never like, touch her or anything. Yeah. It was just skits. It was from what I could tell as a fan, it just looked fucking work. Like it was work based, just fun. Laughs.
No, she's deleted the tweet and said, and backtracked a little bit, and he's sued her. So we'll see where that goes. But from what I can see, and you should listen to all women and all that sort of thing. And
I mean, if you've got proof,
it's one person ever out of all the people that he's dealt with. So we'll see. Yeah. But it looks like he'll be all right.
Yeah. If she's got nothing to hide, then all right. Yeah, she'll fucking.
We talked about that. Oh wow, they've made peace with the idea of no Deadpool 3. I hadn't seen that.
Okay.
Hopefully that's not true, because we do want that. And
this is where Pat got worked.
I got worked about this. I got absolutely rolled.
He got worked by a website promoting wrestling. He got worked. He was just like, oh, did this really happen?
Someone lost an eye. Well, you've got to put it in context for me. The last 2 times I'd seen a wrestling-related article make it to the news was when someone jumped off the top of a...
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, and, died. So
no one's died jumping off Hell in a Cell.
There was
broke their neck.
There was Mick Foley who was he you know it too. Yeah, he had like those severe injuries.
Yeah.
Off
So
the
shit
fucking
can happen.
Hell in a
Shit-
Cell.
So when I
Yeah.
see an article that says Rey
I miss
Mysterio
Foley.
loses an eye, I'm like, fuck. And there's a picture of the guy, kneeling with his hand on his eye, and there's medics around him. And even when you watch the video, you're a bit like, ooh, that looks really bad. But then the beginning of the video, all the other guy's trying to do is get at his eye, and he's like grinding it into a step, like one of those metal steps
steel
again.
steps.
And you're like, yeah, that's a bit on the nose. He's not going to actually injure the dude's eye after clearly that's the entire point of the match. And even the match is named.
An eye for an eye.
So that's a bit on the nose. That's a bit of a fly in the ointment.
Did
of
they-
The eye, so
He got worked hard.
big time.
Did they ever mention that?
So
I assume it was, but did they ever mention that it was an accident? Like going for the eyes was. Not
no, it was
intentional
just a
or-
misleading title. I fell for the clickbait. So comicbook.com, fuck you.
Yeah,
Got
I
me.
stopped following them a long time
They're
ago.
not as bad
when they
as-
spoiled Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck those guys. They're not as bad as that other we got this covered.com. They're much worse. They just make shit up.
So
This actually
we got
happened,
this.
but it was
Covered.com is officially banned from the Banana Split podcast. Comicbook.com, you're on the list. You've got your warning.
Yeah.
Don't sponsor us.
you're
Yeah,
on the watch
don't
list.
fucking sponsor me.
We'll take Raid Shadow Legends over you, bro.
I will though.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, Raid Shadow. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Well,
I know we're probably well over.
oh, we're over that.
Sorry.
One
60
more?
foot. I'm just going to buzz through. 60-foot mecha style robot took its first steps in Japan. So that's fucking cool.
Is that a Gundam?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're
That's a
building
fucking
Gundam.
Gundam.
Yeah, it's like stupidly high. It's like the scale Gundam like they are in the cartoon. So I want to know more about that. I didn't think it was real. I was like, it was clickbait, but apparently it's legit. So I want to
Japan.
get more on that.
Expect.
Can you operate it, or have they not said?
Brie Larson wants to play Samus Aran in the Metroid movie, so that would be fucking cool and very suitable that she would play her.
So long as she's not butthurt like she was. in
Look up the
other thing.
Plague Nerdologues. It's a bit of a mouthful. Nerdolog. How does that work? It's like the term nerd, then a log.
Okay.
But it's really cool because you got all these famous actors doing a monologue from a famous sci-fi film, TV show, comic book, whatever. And it's just their favourite one. They sit down and they do a whole like spiel. So it's fucking cool. It was expensive, not that. It was for charity. So, you should have done it then. But now it's free. So just go and watch them. We already talked about that.
I was gonna say.
That was
That's
pretty
it.
much it.
It's the
And
first
that
time I've
is
seen that.
the news.
Yeah, the news is done. So I did want to talk more about The Last of Us 2. Can I at least give it a score? See, I could do a whole... I'll have to do my own podcast on that one. So go
Oh
over to
no,
Solid 60.
solid 60,
I will keep
which
this
I
in.
will put here. I won't.
Won't. Fuck. But yeah, no, I'll give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. There was a few issues with the janky controls, the way you could like jump to another weapon. Took way too long. Like after playing Uncharted 4, and here it is, Red Dead Redemption 2. It shows you how a game like that, which is a first-person action-adventure stealth
Third
element,
person, he said
third
first person.
You can do it in first person, but yeah,
You can do it in first person?
Red Dead you can. Yeah.
Oh, Red Dead.
Yeah, not Last of Us. There are some moments where you're like crawling through a thing and you pretty much can only see like it's kind of first person-y, but no, it's third person. But yeah, the point is that did it a lot better, that sort of thing, like the auto aim. You can kind of auto aim in Last of Us, but it's like you're a drunk dwarf that's just taken your first hit of acid. So it's very hard to...
Not that Pat would have any idea of what that's
About being
like.
a drunk
Total
dwarf.
guesswork. No. Yeah, so no, there's all sorts of like you can't replay missions like with Red Dead and all these other games. You can go back and go, I really enjoyed doing that bank robbery or this stagecoach thing. You can just go back and retry that one. That would be awesome in this game because there is some really cool set pieces where you've got an entire level of bad guys and you can tackle it different ways. You can go up high, down low, you can avoid them altogether. And that's what really makes the game for me. The story has issues, clearly, for some people. I thought it was an interesting take. I wouldn't have minded have a choice at the end of whether you let Abby go or just get your revenge. And there's some inconsistencies with like other characters and what they end up doing. Because at first, like Joel's thing was that he would forgive. He's not like, he dies and Ellie wants revenge, obviously, but Joel's, as flawed as he is, he got a lot of people killed by saving Ellie. And my other thing with that is that fucking...
I would just let
the
it
doctor
die.
was kind of fucked up too. The doctor was like, well, we need to do this to save people, so let's just kill the bitch and hope for the best. And, you know, there's an issue there, like the Angry Joe review, he talks about where the fact is, sure, it would have saved a couple of fireflies, but most of the rest of the world would still be fucked.
They would have kept it for them.
Yeah, and become like the most powerful faction.
That's
and so
if
there's a
it
whole
worked
other
as
game
well.
there where you could have just played with like the different factions and her and Joel like trading with other factions, building up Jackson. Or, I think it's called Jackson where they live.
I think
They've
Fort
got this
Jack
really...
or some shit. Yeah.
Anyway, there was a whole different direction they could have gone, and that could have been fun too, but they went this way. They wanted to subvert expectations, and sometimes it feels like they're doing that more for the sake of it than for quality, but I still think it was a tour de force and an emotional roller coaster, and I recommend living through it. And
Okay, so technical difficulties,
we're back.
and also now we're saying goodbye. So bye.
No!